Luka, it was a productive season for you. You got playing time here and got called up to Canada. Congratulations
Thank you,
on
thank
that.
you.
How would you, when you look back at the season, how was it for you?
Definitely a learning lesson. Not as much playing time as the year before, unfortunately, but that's the position of a goalkeeper. So for me to stay level-headed and perform as best as I could when I was called upon and stay focused in training and still push my teammates was very important. So that was definitely a learning lesson. But the national team call-up is probably the high point of the season and definitely something that will push me going into next season and this off season and pushing for that World Cup squad. So not as much playing as I wanted to, but I definitely think it's a productive season and a step in the right direction.
Can you talk a little bit more about the call-up? I mean, what was it like being with the Canadian men's team both in Montreal and New Jersey? And what, if anything, did Jesse Marsh say to you in terms of feedback during or afterwards?
Honestly, whenever you're with the national team, it's gonna be good for you and your career. So I was just happy to be there for the first official call-up and hopefully many more in the future. But I feel like it was a good balance between. I know some of the players there. I know some of the staff there. So it was a good balance of like knowing some people and making new relationships. So it was great. Training was great. I feel like I did well. I made a good impression on a lot of with Jesse and a lot of the staff and certainly a lot of the players. But it was honestly great timing too. I feel like maybe it was a blessing in disguise, maybe not playing as much, but I got to go to national team camp, so to finish the year off that was very good.
The end of the season was a lot different than the beginning of the season, especially with the defensive record. What did you see? What do you think was the big change in terms of the progress that the team did make?
I think we started finally realizing, how we want to play and what quality some of our players have, and I think a lot of it was a switch in mindset too. A lot of the times in games we kind of just crumble under adversity. If you concede first or things aren't going our way, I feel like we were always making we were just digging a hole deeper in our games. So it was in that sense it wasn't good. But throughout the year we started to find ways to manage games better. And that comes with, our players building better relationships on the field together. So that was huge. And honestly, finding out actual way we wanted to stick to how to play. And we found ways defensively to make plays, block shots. Every game you could see how many block shots we had and people putting their bodies on the line. So we were just finding ways to stay in games, and now we just got to flip it and try to, on the other end of the field, try to start scoring goals going into next year.
Luka, for the past few seasons, you've backed up Sean, and you've done it admirably without sort of much complaint. I wonder, though, is there a point at which, or maybe you've reached the point where you say to the club, look, I need regular playing time, I need to start. You either sort of make that commitment to me or find another, move me on to another club.
Yeah, that's the position of a goalkeeper. You got to find your, some people get the chance earlier, some people get the chance later. So you have to, whatever the best is for you, the best is for club. They have to make decisions as well. It's at the end of the day, it's a business and it's an industry. So people have to make decisions, and it's not going to be in your favor sometimes. So just kind of putting that in the back of your head and not really thinking about it is probably the best thing you can do. And keep working, and hopefully whenever your opportunity comes, you take it. And I've done my best for that, and I've let the other things be handled in other people's hands. So we'll see what how the off season goes and what happens, and I'll be ready. That's the most important thing. So we'll see.
There was some uncertainty over the roster at the beginning of the season, the future of the DPs. Was that a distraction?
To me, not really, because we as goalkeepers, you kind of have your own crew, and throughout the day, whatever happens with the team, it could be negative or it could be positive. At the end of the day, we have our hour together or whatever where we do our work and we help each other, and I feel like that helped us a lot this year. It got us through a lot of tough games and tough weeks, and having good relationships with each other in the goalkeeper area is one of the most important things. So I don't think it really affected me that much, and I don't think it affected our goalkeeper group that much. So yeah, I never really paid attention to it. I tried to just, like I said, as a I keep saying younger player, but I'm not staying young. So I can say as this year and last year as a younger player, I kind of just put my head down and kept working. I didn't really try to think about that, and I couldn't control it.
And I know defending is a team thing, but the back line, there were so many injuries. Just your thoughts about the players who kept stepping up, because it was pretty impressive the way that they kept bent but didn't break, so to speak.
Yeah, that was definitely on our side. That was really well done from our players. A lot of people switched in the back line. Richie's going left back, Kosi going center back, and Kosi's right back. Kobe left back. Like, so many players were in different positions in different games. So for them to just understand what everybody needed to do and in your position what you needed to do was very, very good. And we need to keep that going into next year for sure.
One last question.
It's always an interesting dynamic, the goalkeeping group. You're trying to all grasp for that first spot, but it's competitive nature too. Just the dynamic with Sean this season and how it's been for you guys working so closely together.
I think the dynamic's always good with Sean. From when I was first team, probably 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago now. Right away he was a good professional. He's a good teammate, and we have had a great relationship since. And I think it's shown this year. Sean's done. He probably got us, I don't know, not too many wins because we haven't won, but kept us in probably 80% of the games. So it clearly worked out, and our dynamic was good. And I think I did a great job of pushing him and keeping it competitive this year, and I think he would say the same. But the dynamic was great, and even with Adisa's in with us too, and every day. And like I said, we keep our goalkeeper crew together, and we, that's our 45 minutes to an hour to work, and just kind of leave everything else to the side. So